Welcome back. This is Minecraft Bytes here, and I'm back here for another commentary video. The topic for this video is, should I join a YouTube network? Now, YouTube networks have been around for a pretty long time and are one of the important areas in the YouTube landscape if you're a YouTuber. Now, there are many benefits to joining a YouTube network, but of course there are negative things like which you need to take into account. So, one of the most important things about deciding whether to join a YouTube network or not is balance. Now, YouTube networks generally take a pretty big cut of your earnings. So generally the cuts that you'll see is around 50% to 100%. And one thing to keep in mind in this video is that this video is a constantly changing topic and can go out of date pretty quickly. So this video is for 2015 and the YouTube network landscape is constantly changing, so especially in the past 2 years has changed dramatically, and in the next year could be completely different. So just keep that in mind while watching this video. So anyway, generally if you YouTube networks, the smallest cut you'll generally see is 60%. Now 60% is a really bad cut, and I would advise not joining a network if you're offered a 60% cut. Generally, I believe 60% cuts are offered to gaming channels because gaming channels on YouTube can make smaller amounts of money due to a variety of different reasons, but basically they can be less appealing to advertisers because they may be less family friendly and things like that. So 70% is generally the starting out cut, and it's best to avoid anything that's below 70%. 80% is already a pretty good cut, and 90% or 95% are the best cuts you can find and are really good. So 70% generally channel, I would say under 10,000 subscribers will get 70% cuts with a network, unless, well, there can be exceptions now. There are networks which, like Curse, which offer a 90% cut for everyone. And also, so 80%, now these requirements are completely rough, but I would say that if you have, say, over 10,000 subscribers, you might want to look into trying to see if you can get an 80% cut. If you have over 100,000 subscribers, I would, no, we'll say if you have over 50,000 subscribers, I'd advise not going with a 70% cut, try and make sure you at least get an 80% cut. If you have over 500,000 subscribers, you might be able to get something like a 90% cut, and if you have millions of subscribers, you might be able to get a 95% cut. Now, this completely depends on the network, what the network offers in return, because, for example, if they offer you different things like studios and things, then they might take a larger cut than networks which offer very little in return, because, of course, their costs will be much higher. So, anyway, so with a cut, you want to make sure, of course, that what you get in return is worth that cut. So I would say that you want to calculate roughly how much you would make in a year from YouTube earnings, times that by the cut that your network takes, for example, 30%, and that is essentially the amount that you're paying your network that you will pay your network in the last year. And of course, this amount to go up if your channel grows. Generally, unless of course ad revenue goes down. So just keep in mind that you're paying that amount of money for the benefits, and that you could have spent all of that money on, for example, YouTube adverts, which could make your channel much more popular than the benefits of going with a network, because generally speaking, it doesn't really promote you. They can give you benefits. Well, they can promote you if you're a large YouTuber, but generally promotion is not the kind of benefit that you see in networks. One thing also to keep in mind is that you do not have to join a YouTube network. So if you want to make money from YouTube, you can become a YouTube partner, and anyone can become a YouTube partner. And YouTube network partnership can offer some benefits, but normal partnership directly with YouTube generally doesn't really offer much, because you can get most of the features, or I think even all of the features, just by verifying your mobile number, like being able to upload unlimited length videos over 15 minutes long, any size videos, and things like being able to get custom thumbnails. However, you can get a YouTube Partner Manager, which is a pretty good alternative to going to the YouTube network, and quite a few large YouTubers, the majority of large YouTubers who aren't in a network, will have a YouTube Partner Manager. So essentially what this means is that to get a Partner Manager, you have to get at least 15,000 hours watch time, not minutes, but hours, in the last 90 days. So you can find this information out in the YouTube Analytics, and there's a Google Support help page on their website, which gives some details on how to find this in your Analytics. And this number may change also in the future. It has changed in the past, has been higher, has been lower, I believe, but currently it seems to be at a steady 15,000 hours, and it hasn't changed in the past year, I believe, I think. Anyway, what are the advantages of going directly with YouTube, Google, and getting a Partner Manager and not going with a network at all? Well, the first thing is that the network cut goes on top of the cut that Google take, which is around 40%, I believe. Even if you don't have a YouTube Partner Manager and you're just with a normal standard YouTube partnership, you still network wouldn't take a cut. Now, networks can have separate ad sale teams, but generally speaking, if you're not some top partner who makes really good quality videos that's appealing for advertisers, then generally the additional ad sale teams won't cover the cuts. It's pretty rare that they would cover the cuts, and even if you're with a network which, for example, like Curse, which offer a 90% cut, it's possible that the extra ad sale teams could cover the cuts, especially if you make gaming content. They should have a good ad sale team, but other networks, for example, say if you get an 80% cut, it's unlikely that the extra ad sale teams would cover it. But if you're a large YouTuber who gets, say, a 90% cut, then it's possible that the extra ad sales from a network could cover the cut. But anyway, another thing that I'll just mention a few of the benefits that you get by having a YouTube Partner Manager. So you can get you can potentially get custom URLs. So essentially, what a YouTube Partner Manager is it's your own personal contacts inside Google, who you can contact by email directly. So you can build up contacts with this person, and just to get to know you, they might be able to offer you better things, also they can provide you with a verified username on YouTube, which basically can add a bit of legitimacy to your account, especially if your account is more like on a business side. So for example, if your account represents a business but it still is a personal account in a way, then having a verified username can be quite good, and can mean that if someone searches for your username in this YouTube search, I believe that a verified username means that your channel should come up higher, I believe. However, I don't know if there's much evidence to show that. And also, you can get a CMS account if you have a YouTube Partner Manager. You may get it automatically, or you may need to request one. So essentially, what a CMS account is it gives you access to different things like Content ID, and it makes you a managed partner, which is something that I'll mention later on in this video. And this means that you can partner up to 12 of your own channels. You have to own these channels. You cannot sell the partnership. You cannot give partnership to your friends or anything with the CMS accounts, which is content management system accounts in YouTube. So anyway, yeah, if you are caught selling accounts or partnering people you don't know, which it is likely that you're caught if you are doing this, then you'll be permanently banned from YouTube because it is against the terms of service. Anyway, I believe I've covered everything with going with Google. However, this video is about should you join a YouTube network, though. So the benefits of joining a YouTube network. One of them is getting a dashboard. This is essentially generally a reskinned analytics, YouTube Analytics. And some networks may not give you access to YouTube Analytics earnings, but generally you can get this on request if you contact the support, which is quite good. Except we'll keep one thing in mind, that the analytics earnings inside YouTube don't take into account the network's cut, so you have to times the earnings by, for example, say 0.6, 0.7, etc. To find out your actual earnings. Also, so the information in these dashboards is generally pulled from the YouTube API. It's not exclusive to the network, so any other web service could give you this same information, provided that you sign into your YouTube account through them. This isn't necessarily a very good benefit, because you can get the same information from YouTube directly generally, but networks can use this information to provide you some cool features, like for example there's Viso Catalyst and other things like that. I believe Fullscreen has a similar feature which they're working on, which can give you things like tag suggestions and different things like that. Basically analyzes all of your videos and gives you suggestions and feedback on automated feedback on how you can optimize the videos. And also some networks can provide you with an audio library, but personally I would recommend avoiding an audio library, not really seeing as a benefit, because there is the risk that if you leave the network that you may get content ID claims on the music from the audio library, because these are paid audio libraries. It's just networks have special agreements with them, also, if you have content ID claims after you've left the network on the music, then it may be harder to get rid of these claims and things, and potentially it depends on the network, but they may not have an agreement. The music may not be covered for videos. And what I mean by that also is, of course, you cannot upload new videos using the music from the audio library after you've left the network, but that you may have issues with old videos which you uploaded while you were inside the network. So you want to do some research in that if you want to use an audio library. And there are plenty of Creative Commons audio libraries and audio libraries or music that you can find which are royalty free for YouTube, provided of course that they're commercial, give you commercial use. Another benefit is support. YouTube network support can be pretty good, and also allows you to get support while you're a smaller YouTuber. So generally networks have pretty small requirements to join them, and I would advise not joining them if you're a small YouTuber, but it depends. For example, if you feel that you really need the support and things, then it can be worth joining them. It's best to try to make sure you get email support. If you get web support, then I would say I would recommend trying to look for a network which provides email support, because generally email support will be faster, because it is possible that networks might take a month or something to reply to you, so you want to do research and support. And also, if possible, try to make sure you get a partner manager, because essentially this is your own contacts in a network, which may even have contacts in Google and be able to provide you with things like verified usernames, or if you're a larger YouTuber, potentially a custom URL, but they're being phased out slightly in the moment, I believe, though, being replaced with Google Plus custom URLs. And if you're a larger partner, then network support can provide you with lots of things, like especially if a network's based in LA also. Networks can provide you with access to the film studios, but of course you want to contact them on about this. This isn't something that's kind of publicly offered or publicly advertised on the websites. You'll need to contact the support directly by email or something to find out more about this before you join them. And another thing also, it can be called a benefit, I guess, because you don't need to use AdSense. Now, your AdSense account has to be in good standing, or of course, if you don't have an AdSense account, that doesn't matter. But if you've been banned from AdSense, then you may have trouble joining a network. But what this means essentially is that you may be less, or you may get some kind of protection from click bombing, meaning that if other people maliciously click on your adverts on your videos to try to get you banned from AdSense, then since the network's AdSense account has been used instead, also they will generally pay you by PayPal or with checks or something, not through AdSense, then it means that you can receive some kind of protection with that. However, networks will have their own systems in place, so do not think about trying to click bomb yourself, because networks could have contacts in Google and be able to report any suspicious activity to Google if they suspect that you are clicking on your own adverts. So do not think that this is a reason to join a network, or do not think that if you join a network that you can click your own adverts. And also, networks are responsible instead of you for AdSense-related issues, so they may be more harsh than Google potentially, but generally they can be less harsh. So anyway, last thing, one of the last things I want to discuss is affiliates and managed. And networks can make you either an affiliate partner or a managed partner. Now, if you have a YouTube partner manager, you have they give you access to a personal CMS account, which, by the way, does not allow you to partner channels which are not yours, which, as I've mentioned already, you can partner up to 12 channels, I believe. But all of these channels be managed if you go with Google directly. But if you're at a network, they can either make you affiliate partner or a managed partner. Now, affiliate is almost the same as being a normal YouTube partner. You won't really get many benefits. You may be able to get things like YouTube shows, but YouTube shows may be removed in the future. Also the live streaming stuff before, and the used to be able to get live streaming stuff if you were a partner with a network, but this appears to be rolled out to pretty much everyone, I believe, or at least YouTube partners, I believe, have access to live streaming now. So if you're an affiliate partner, generally you can see analytics in YouTube, analytics earnings, also, as I've mentioned already, it's similar to standard YouTube partnership, meaning that you do not get instant monetization. So Google can do random copyright checks on your videos and remove monetization, for example, the first day up to 48 hours, which can be really bad if you are targeted by this. But I believe there is a reputation system though. So if your channel is not a brand new channel, you should be fine with that. But if you're having any issues with delayed monetization or something, then you really want to try to look, see if it's possible to get a managed channel. Now, what are the advantages of being managed? Now, first thing, I just want to mention that becoming a managed channel is quite hard, and it is a really good benefit, so a network can offer it to you specifically. No networks offer it to all of the partners. It's offered to a very small selection of partners generally. So essentially what being managed means is that content ID checks do not apply to you. While you still can have copyright strikes, your channel can still have a copyright strike be placed on it, and the video can be removed completely. This means, however, there are no automated copyright checks on your channel, which means that you're less likely to be victim of false copyright claims and things like that. And also, if you're using game footage, then you're you'll be more safe to upload things like to upload game footage, especially things like cinematic videos in games, or the in-game music can have automated copyright claims and things. But even if you're a managed partner, it's best to try to avoid those. But especially if you upload gaming footage onto YouTube, being a managed partner is really good benefits. However, networks do not make everyone managed. This is because networks are more responsible for you if you upload copyrighted content if you're a managed partner. I believe that if all of the managed partners together in a network get 15 strikes total, then the whole network gets closed. So of course the networks would really try to limit the amount of managed partners they have, and potentially not even offer managed partners to people who want network staff and things. Before you join a network, it's best to contact them to see if you get the opportunity to become managed. I just want to mention a few questions that you want to ask a network before joining them. So first thing, you want to ask what the revenue cut is, and also another thing that I just want to mention quickly is copyright lengths. Contract length. So basically, contracts can vary from, for example, 1 year long, 2 year long. It can be monthly, or I believe it can be networks which don't have a contract at all. I'm not sure about that, but essentially monthly contracts means that you can leave at any time, basically. But if you have a yearly or 2 year contract, then to leave the contract, you'll have to notify the network at least 30 days in advance, generally. But you want to read all of your contracts. So if, before joining a network, just make sure you read the contract multiple times. If you're under 18, it's best to get your parents to read it also, or if you have a lawyer, then it's a good idea to get a lawyer to read through it, just to make sure that that everything is good in the contract, because the contract is a legal agreement, so you could potentially be sued and stuff if you were to break any terms. So going back to the questions that you want to ask, So if you contact a network by email or something before you join, you may want to ask if trusted partners can get managed status, and check if large partners, for example, say if you have 50,000 subscribers, to see if you'll be able to get managed status, or if there's something that the network could not offer to any of their partners. And also, one thing you may want to ask is exactly what you get in return for paying a large cut. So, for example, you could be worded something like, "Since we'll be paying you a large cut, what do you offer in return?" Of course, you may want to change the wording and stuff. But networks may be able to offer things that may reply to that and say they'll be able to offer things like custom graphics and different things like that, or for example, they might also network support may be able to offer things like, for example, if you contact them, they may be able to give you advice on how to optimize your YouTube channel and things like that, and they may mention different things like that. And you want to keep in mind all of the benefits that they list there, if you decide to join them later on, just to make sure that you actually use all of the benefits that you want. And also, a good idea of something to ask is if you can get a partner manager, because essentially partner manager means that you get more personal support, better support, potentially you could even contact them through Skype or something, and also that will mean that you get faster support, generally speaking. And smaller partners may find it harder to get a partner manager, but I would really advise only joining a network if you can get a partner manager, because one of the main things that you're paying them such a large cut for is being able to get really good support. And if the support takes months to reply or something, then that is, generally speaking, not really good network, because they're taking a large cut of your money and not even offering something like support. And also another tip, just you may want to check the numbers of how many partners there are in a network. You can check those on websites like Social Blade, or the numbers may not be so accurate. But there are, you can also potentially you can check on the YouTube channel. Sometimes the network statistics are shown on YouTube, and you can find out information like how many partners are in a network. And what this means is that, for example, if a network has a large number of partners, for all 50,000 partners, there is the risk that they haven't scaled the network support properly to the amount of partners that they have, meaning you get slow support. So also it's a good idea to try to check the amount of network support staff that they have. So for example, if a network has 5 partner managers, but they have, for example, 50,000 partners, then generally speaking, they may take quite a long time to reply, and then support may not be so good. There have been issues with the support with some of the larger networks, but I think probably by now they've probably scaled the support quite well to the number of partners there. But this is definitely something that you want to research, or contact them asking how fast the support should reply and things like that. So anyway, I believe that is everything that I want to talk about in this video. Feel free to post any comments, discuss other things in the comments below or above, potentially, if YouTube decides to change the layout in the future, I don't know. Also, anyway, just a few final words. If you want to join the network, make sure you do a lot of research, read the contracts really thoroughly, and make sure there are no kind of like terms that you don't want to agree to. Make sure that networks don't do anything like take full control over your channel and things. And also, it's a good idea to check forums where people discuss different networks. YT Talk, for example, is quite a good forum. And things like that. I'll try to give a few links down in the description also for places that you can do research. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching, and if you'd like to see more videos about YouTube networks and things like that, and also other series like Let's Plays, cinematic videos, time lapses, etc., then feel free to subscribe to my channel to be notified about all of my future videos. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching, and see you later. We'll be right back.